Hey, what's good, Sicko? How's it going? We're just finally moving on to our final episode of the year. So, I hope you stick around and or even just have it in the background as well. So, let me put on some nice music and we will get ourselves started. Okay? What would be a good one in order to kind of set things up? You know what? Well then, that's for everybody else that's probably tuning on in. Welcome to the final episode of In Character Universe. I am your host, Otsdarva Integer, your engineer from an endless frontier, and as amazing as been, this is not the true end of the series. If anything, it's only the beginning. But we'd have to set off the year with a bit of a bang. And I'm going to be talking with our next guest, an adventurer, a Tanuki adventurer at that, who has joined us for the moment. So, without further ado, I would like to introduce to y'all I'd like to introduce you Kirana Ruto. Okay. And
all right. We're
all right, you can introduce yourself.
well, I'm just your local friendly adventuring kids. No, wait, I'm not a kid. Yeah, I was thinking of someone else. But yeah, I'm a neighborhood adventuring Tanuki. And yeah, I'm still not going to rank up to A rank. If any of the guild is seeing this,
it does bring an interesting question as to why you refrain from ranking up anyway.
Well, let's just say that if I rank up, those people at the guild are probably going to tell me to go save the world. Then there has to be an rank that I have to get through. I didn't. They demoted the whole save the world quests down to A rank, and I ended up deciding to downgrade need to be ranked myself just to strike the perfect balance.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like they're kind of short on hands.
Yeah. You can say that.
Huh? Yeah, as long as you're kind of living as a free bird or free Tanuki at this point, then hey, the world could probably be saved by someone that's a bit more skilled, right?
Yep.
Okay, all right. So, speaking of this guild, what is the guild or organization do you work for exactly?
Our culture called the Kyoku Compass, a adventurers guild. They still operate in the usual. You know how the isekai anime do their guilds? Yeah, they do things that way. Except this time, modern technology has moved farther away from the whole medieval lifestyle that the guilds that have those kind of systems usually have.
Mm-hmm. So is it like a bit of a mesh of like the whole fantasy guild and also a lot of technology being involved?
Well, they still operate like they're in a fantasy guild. Except this time, we adventurers have more things to use, considering, well, technology advanced.
Mm-hmm. This could be weird. Uh, we can probably try to like work something out in order to ease it a little bit, but we'll see what we can do.
Right then.
Okay. Continuing on.
Huh?
How long have you been an adventurer for?
Couple of years. You'd be surprised at how long yokai lifespans are, especially Tanuki.
Mm-hmm. And how'd you manage to get so much experience in a short amount of time?
Well, it didn't. It's probably because centuries of living managed to mean that I have to start from the bottom.
Oh.
Of course, it's all really, really expensive. I even lost my rifle.
And what kind of rifle was it?
I think it was an old assault rifle. I don't know. Nowadays, I've kind of forgotten about it and just keep using a replica a weapon of a favorite game of mine.
Mm-hmm. So I guess you probably opted for a more close range or even maybe mid range weapon to kind of save yourself the trouble instead of just having to like spend a lot of money on ammunition and stuff, right?
Yeah. And again, it probably sounds weird considering the fact that, yeah, I think my weapon procurer is a bit of a weeb who plays way too much SO2 for their own good.
Hmm. I see. I see. So, what would you say are your skill sets? What do you mostly specialize in?
I'm mostly on gathering small fry monster killing. That's just to the extent of what I can legally say. Because if I see more, the guild is going to have more ammunition to tell me, oh, you gotta go rank up again.
Hmm.
I don't want to give them more ammunition for that.
Nah, not one bit. Especially if you even like the smallest of tasks, I'll probably just say, "Hey, you seem pretty capable enough. Why don't you just rank up and join the team? Give us a little bit of an extra helping hand, if you will." maybe someday you might be able to save the world and then some if you just 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 give us a little bit of some help, okay? Just rank up, please, I beg you. I'm probably just
Yeah.
begging you at like Dogeza
Yeah.
just to want to see if you actually take the bait.
Yeah, they're probably going to try that. I think they actually did, but I'm not sure. My memory is a bit fuzzy with all the private servers I've played nowadays.
Hmm. So, how do you go about your training? I'm pretty sure you have a pretty rigorous regimen if you have one.
Used to, but that was back when S rank is still the whole save the world rank. Nowadays, when it comes to E rank days, you don't get that much training.
Mm. So it's just
Unless,
more.
of course, you look for.
Continue.
Unless you look for training on your own, you're basically just given basic training on certain weapons. Can you believe it? They still train people to use swords, even though it's the future and we have gun ranges.
Hmm. I guess they feel like the need for having close quarters is a lot more important than long range. But then again, if you give someone that's not really good at shooting things and they can't hit the broadside of a barn, then that could be a lot more of a financial trouble than anything else.
Yeah.
So I guess it's for good reason, but at the same time, I understand where you're coming from because if you have a lot of people that use swords, they're gonna get pretty much raised down to nothing by those that can use long range weaponry.
Yeah, true. Then again, the, um, then again, we do still beat up monsters. The government is still having monster trouble lately.
Hmm.
One of the reasons why the guild is still operating, to be honest.
I see. And I'm pretty sure. Have there been like any instances of like certain raids or upon monster dens, or have protected certain territories as mandated by the guilds themselves, or has it mostly been like your own missions that have been taking the helm?
Sometimes to get post missions that got mandated to certain adventurers. Most of them used to be S rank, but now they're mandated to A rank because apparently it get decided, we need to keep up with technology. We need to keep up with technology. We can't just have technology saving the world every time.
And now this kind of creates a bit of a question in my head, but I want to kind of save it for the next section of questioning. But I'll keep that in the back of my head for the moment.
All right, yeah.
So, do you usually prefer operating in a team or solo?
It's more useful with it solo. There's a bit of bad luck concerning certain adventurers who cosplay. Sometimes most of them are Genshin character cosplayers, and they end up making our luck run worse.
Oh,
Usually.
has there been any kind of like bad run-ins with these said Genshin cosplayers?
No, they're pleasant to talk to. It's just that whenever the quest gets a bit too tough, they are the last person they're probably the last people we party up with. Mainly for the superstition of Genshin cosplayers being bad luck.
Hmm. Then I also probably have the idea that some of these quote unquote Genshin cosplayers also try to focus on the raw stats of their gear rather than actual survivability.
Probably. I'd rather they just want them to look like they're actually their favorite characters.
Hmm.
Probably.
Has this cosplay actually extended outside of like Genshin, like any other series, or is it just mostly those adventures just really being that into certain other games?
Uh, we do have an incident where someone just dropped caused a trouble for us, and think it was I think it was a bunch of main abyss cosplayers trying to punch way above their weight.
Mm. Mm.
I get it. I get it. They show up fully decked out in Ozen cosplay, and then they try to solo the monster.
Oh. Oh. Oh, so they thought they were really about that life, weren't they?
Yeah.
They legit thought they were Ozen.
Yeah, they really thought they were Ozen. They ended up getting wrecked by the monster that we had to step in with a party.
Oh wow. So I guess the moral of the story is whenever you're in any kind of adventures guild, always sometimes never interact with the cosplayers, because those are the ones that think they are the shit, but in actuality they're just shit.
Well, at least outside of combat, they're pretty good at gathering quests, and they're pleasant people to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
Just try to be sure that they're, and if you bring them with you in combat scenarios, they can actually do exactly what they're supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess that does kind of parallel a lot with the Bounty Hunters Association. Lots of people thinking that they're particular legendary bounty hunters or people that love to cosplay as such, and next thing you know, they're either hogtied in the Battlelands somewhere or just flat out dead in a ditch.
Well, that's not good.
Yeah, it's then the Endless Frontier is kind of unforgiving at times. But you gotta be tough and smart. Not just tough or just smart.
Yeah, that's right.
And any favorite adventure stories you would like to share with the chat?
Apart from that and one incident, well, there was this time when I think I got sidetracked during one of my quests. I think that was the one where I lost my rifle.
Mm.
I think I it was shooting at the monster. In actuality, it's just a large automaton. Yeah, we still have robots in prototypes back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, when I got home, I just realized that my rifle is gone.
Oh.
That was the most. Yeah, that was one of the most intense things that I've remembered. Apart from the fact that it took me a lot of bullets and probably one grenade or two launch from that rifle.
Mm. I'm pretty
To
sure that
destroy them.
I'm pretty sure that rifle was pretty, I guess, precious to you, or was it just like standard issue, or what's the story about it? Because it seems that you probably have some hangups about it somewhere.
Well, I do still have my hangups, but I think I got over it a lot. It's just some normal rifle you can buy off the internet nowadays.
Hmm.
But how technology he just decided to advance, by a weaponry on the internet.
Hmm. So I guess it might have been something that might have been 3D printed then?
I don't think so. I think the 3D printed parts are probably just because it uses metal 3D printing.
Hmm.
That reminds me of that one time. Nah.
Okay, moving on to the next section. It seems very, very apparent that you have a very great disdain about technology.
Me? I'm not the greatest thing with technology. Killed it. I mean, if I have my way, I would be alright with technology.
Hmm. But it seems in a way that technology seems to advance a bit too far or too fast for your liking.
Well, I guess the only thing that if advanced too far are for my liking is probably the fact like that now, crime rates are going low enough that we no longer get enough small fry quests.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's the only bad thing about technology that I can agree with the guild on. But otherwise, technology is pretty good.
Even when it
And
comes to
if
like,
they,
I'm sorry.
oh,
So
that's alright.
yeah. So even if when it comes to like the automatons that kind of roam around from time to time, or anything else that's been kind of making it difficult for you to kind of stay at a low rank, still feel like technology has been on like a positive side for you.
Yeah, I mean we now have technology that can revive old dead MMORPGs as private servers.
Hmm.
Was not a lot. More. That's actually how I ended up getting into streaming. By the way, I just decided to stream some private servers on a whim.
Hmm. And what particular private server did you manage to get hooked into for a game?
There was this one private server for Fantasy Star Online 2 that really closely emulates the original.
Hmm. Ah, I see. So I guess that also kind of explains the kind of gear that you have currently, right?
Yeah, I got that right. So, the shoulder pad I got because I played way too much. I probably was actually drunk when I got it, but it kind of vibes with me, so I decided to just keep it.
Hmm. Hmm. So that does also beg the question: if you do have like a copy of yourself in PSO2, is there like moments of like synchronicity, like you feel like whatever is going on in the game as well, or is it just all like maybe just some sort of simulation?
Well, the, well, the game is still PSO2. It's not going to change. I don't think technology has advanced that far for to enable us to feel like we're actually in PSO2.
Hmm. But then again, there's always that incident that happened in episode 4 where reality was kind of like meshed together
Yeah.
thanks to the whole mother cluster incident. So
Yeah.
who's to say that hasn't also happened in your world as well?
Thankfully, it haven't happened. The world is still. I mean, the world I'm in may have automatons, but we're not advanced enough to build armored cores either. So at least, so that's the silver lining of technology not advancing that fast.
Yeah, that's true. But then again, people would probably kill for having an armor core in their possession anyway. So
Yeah. Science haven't reached the levels of either Mother Corps or Arquebus yet.
Not even close. I mean, thankfully, we haven't gotten to the point of like even creating technology close to like Gen 4, because if we did, then our world is pretty much fried, fractured, and fucked in more ways than one.
Yeah.
But that's the power of Kojima particles, baby. That is the power of Kojima particles. Just ruins everything while everything goes zippity soup.
Man. It's going to be one rough day.
So, another question is, what are they? What is the guild trying to save the world from exactly?
You know, the usual demon lords. Sometimes it's the usual oddball alien or two, but most of the time it's just the usual demon lords and rogue gods and goddesses that people will seem to have trouble with. I'm not that privy to that kind of information nowadays. They locked it behind a rank now, so yeah, and they guild used to let you see what quests are available on the rank above you.
So they still have some semblance of censorship. Make sure that no one actually pries a little bit too much into the upper ranks.
Either that, or they just don't want a repeat of certain incidents. That's what they always say to in the world, anyway.
Yeah.
Get that?
Yeah, I guess like some people trying to like gain glory from other people's success, and then the moment that they do try to join into it, and they're way in over their heads, and someone that just has to like constantly fall back and try to save them, and it just leads to a lot more casualties. I guess that's probably the situation.
Yeah, we had that kind of situation.
How did that entirely play out?
Well, there was this one time when someone so small fry I couldn't even remember them lately tried to take a quest way too high above their rank, and it was about destroying a slime king that the government of this one country wanted us to kill. So I think it was a she. I forgot the details. Anyways, that adventure ended up getting turned into another one of the slime king's minions. They fully recovered from it though, but they're still a slime.
Oh man, that's actually, well, I guess becoming a slime sounds a lot more horrifying than just being a slime.
Yep.
And did the slimes actually have like any kind of core that could be destroyed, or was it just more of like they just had to be destroyed completely?
Yeah, I think they just had to be destroyed completely. You do fight some slimes that has cores, but they're pretty much rare nowadays.
Mm-hmm. It just kind of eerily reminds me of some other thing that I'm kind of familiar with. It's the same kind of principle of like, hey, if you get too close, it'll probably infect you, and then you turn into one of its minions, and so on. But yeah,
Thank-
that
Thankfully, thankfully that adventure is still around. But
mm-hmm.
I think they got traumatized that that they're still a slime.
Mm. Yeah, it's like a completely new life altogether. I mean, you don't really have to eat much, but even so, it just feels like I don't know how to describe it. If anything, it's just almost miserable. But at the same time, you can kind of transform any part of your body to whatever you want. So that's, I guess, a bit of a plus.
Yeah, I think they retired now and did some stand-up comedy instead.
Hmm. A slime doing
More
comedy.
success, a lot more success as to than when they just stay in the guild.
Hmm. Yeah, I guess that's a better path instead. At least it can probably bounce off a lot of jokes.
Yep.
So, what led to this whole decision of the guild to really bump their world saving rank from S to A?
Yeah, a lot of the this stuff I can't really say. It's probably just internal guild politics, not my kind of conversation or something that I'm privy to. But I can make an assumption, at least one assumption. It's probably because they're probably scared that if the guild gets less tasks, they're going to get dissolved.
Hmm.
Talk about bad luck coming from technology. I don't think they're gonna be happy to see me talk about stuff like that at length.
Hmm.
Probably will just answer that for now, unless the question arises again.
Right, right. So something like that, I'm pretty sure there would be at least some sort of rumors spreading around about like someone maybe sabotaging technology on purpose in order to kind of get more people to participate, or even try to get some under table deals going to make sure that those that end up being like in A rank being compensated a lot more than those that are at the lower ranks, just practically fighting for pennies.
I can confirm that the last rumor is false, though. I can't confirm what sabotage, but at least I can confirm that at least for her B rank, the pay is at least still good.
Hmm.
It's the guild going to it's just that the guild is going to pass her us instead.
Right, right, right. I mean, what is like the lowest rank anybody could be?
I think it was. I think it was. It used to be E, but once they bumped it up, they just turned into D rank instead.
Hmm. Hmm. So, how many other adventures have actually been proactively doing the same thing that you've been trying to do, as like trying to maintain or even get lower ranks to avoid having to like being thrown into the world saving category?
Well, I didn't. Well, I think my streaming just took a lot out of toll on my things. I probably couldn't say, but a exact numbers. I do know there's at least one though. If they're watching this stream, hi. You still got a friend in me.
Comrade in arms.
Yep.
A fellow B ranker that refuses to rank up and save the world.
Yep.
But what happens if they probably did just like even accidentally rank up to A? What would happen then?
Well, they start getting the tougher jobs. And at least they can probably downgrade if they don't do it. A lot of them. Or just take on lower rank quests to the point. Or alternative scenario, they'll just take on the lower rank quests enough that the guild is going to accuse them of padding their numbers and getting them to B rank again. That's what I did.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I guess since you've probably been proactively making sure that your rank doesn't reach that point, is there like another reason, say like you feel like you're not ready for the world to be saved, or do you feel like the world doesn't deserve to be saved by you?
It's more for personal reasons. I think not everyone has some grand idea of the world. I'm just one of those people who doesn't.
Mm-hmm. So if anything, would you be better off just protecting like a certain part of a world, to say like your own country or your own region, or maybe just a small town that you've been kind of growing up with? Or is there like anything else that would be more like motivation to stay the rank that you are?
I guess it's part that, part work-life balance. If I have to save the world constantly, thanks to the guild just insisting on me doing all the world-saving quests, I won't have time to stream.
Hmm. And I guess with streaming, has that been a means to like establish contact with others, or what would you say its purpose is?
It's mainly to establish contact with others, although it's really enjoyable. It's even more so. The other day, I have like a group of people. They seem to be. I think I forgot, but they did gift me a car.
A car?
Yeah, apparently some. How do I still remember this? I remember they like saying something about tech-wizing stuff. I don't know. I mean, it's way far in the future, and you're still watching Hot Wheels Excel Racers like it's 2006. Or rather 2005, but still.
That's a blast in the past, that's for sure. I guess that also kind of tells to me that old technology still holds a very critical place in a lot of people's hearts there too.
Yep. Sometimes new stuff just holds as much nostalgia as the old ones.
Mm-hmm. And what would you say would be like a piece of new technology that you kind of cherish the most?
New tech that I cherish the most, I guess. I think it's probably just it's this computer that I use.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't go into much details of my build, at the
Right.
very least.
That's fair. That's fair. I guess what about old technology? If we're kind of looking on the flip side.
All technology, the fact that that someone just gifted me a car. It looks like it came from like 2006 to 2005. Is any indication? At least they're still thinking that internal combustion engines are really going to pop off. Now, if only they fix the car up, I might be actually able to drive it around.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I guess I can probably ask this question then. Have there been any kind of like guild missions that involved like any forms of transport or kind of like racing? Or I'm trying to like figure out like what are
Oh,
the mission varieties of the guild anyway. So that would probably be the best way to kind of see what they're about.
they could. I think they did do, aside of gathering and killing monsters, which includes the whole world saving missions. They do sometimes do some escorts, though they're pretty rare.
Hmm.
I mean, nowadays, if you want to pay an escort, you just buy a bunch of drones, be done with it.
Hmm. But I'm pretty sure there might be some clients that just don't like the idea of like having a bunch of robots or a bunch of automatons hanging around them and just would prefer like having living, breathing, actual people
Actual people. Yeah.
hanging around them.
Yeah. I
Because
guess they probably. Yeah. Sometimes they just book an escort request just for the sake of having someone to talk to.
mm, hmm,
Other times they actually do need protection.
hmm, hmm. So now I'm actually thinking of something interesting too.
Hmm?
So if this new demon lord is actually at depth with technology, how do you think that would change the landscape?
Well, we do. How do I think about this? If I put a guild, then it probably wouldn't matter. It probably won't matter much for them because they're still the good guys, or at least they think they're the good guys. Therefore, they think they're immune to demon lords, even if they are doing technological stuff. But then again, some of the and if the demon lord themselves just decide to surrender, they might just end up being part of the guild instead.
Hmm,
Well, we have several cases like that.
hmm. That's not a good look.
And as much as they're powerful enough to rank up to A rank, and they sometimes do, they're a bit. Some of them are still a bit bitter about it.
Hmm. I mean, at
Well,
least you at least think that if some of the demon lord's minions or at least his generals are at least versed with technology, they'll be able to like hack certain things and just turn technology against a guild anyway. But hey, I guess they're still antiquated in some ideas that probably don't translate well into your kind of playing field.
yeah, you could say that.
Hmm. So, also kind of going back to you, do you have any kind of like special call sign or a nickname that the guild kind of gave you, or any other adventurers kind of know you as?
Uh, they used to do that. They used to do that kind of stuff, but they just kind of ditch it for the other ranking system instead.
Hmm. I mean, if anything, they probably should just bring back the whole call sign or nickname system, because if you want to get more people to kind of become the upper ranks, at least having like a special name would be more enticing, especially if they're doing like a lot of heavy or like high ranking missions in general.
Uh, sometimes they do exactly that. Sometimes they don't.
Hmm. So they don't really have anything completely set in stone then.
No, it's more of a legacy. It's more of a legacy thing at this point. They still get to be known for their alphabet rank, but they do still accept requests for the fancy old titles.
Yeah, I figure like having a title would be much more enticing. I mean, even like someone within, say, even like B rank would probably get like a title too, just for like the kind of tasks that they do, or what they specialize in, or even just what they're kind of like known for, just from general word of mouth.
Yeah, I think they need to have that and as a fair point. But then again, higher ups, they're not the brightest mind in the world.
Mm, oh, a bunch of old fogies. Huh.
Yeah.
Of course. Of course, they have to be a bunch of old fogies, because they would never. Of course, that explains a lot of things. Then,
Yeah. The fact that they're old people.
yeah, probably have a lot of money poured in other places, just kind of help bankroll the guild and see what other stuff they could probably get away with anyway.
Probably.
But then again, I don't want to speak too ill about what they do, because then again, I don't know if they have anybody else on the inside that's probably watching what I do too. And that could probably cause a bit of trouble for you as well. So
Yeah.
I'll just leave it at that and just kind of call them incompetent and just be about my day at that point.
I can agree with you on that.
Mm-hmm. So one thing we can ultimately agree at this point. We're just shaking hands. You, me, just agreeing at the fact that, hey, these guilds can't do shit.
It's actually in never mind. I already spit to kill enough.
But I'm just probably ribbing them either. So they probably won't even know that I'm probably either joking or not.
And if anyone in the guild is watching this stream, no, you adventure, the other adventures are not what I'm ribbing on at this moment. We're not in Genshin cosplay. There's like the higher ups expected to or enough already.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let me see what other questions we can come up with then. Hmm. I guess one final question could be that you said you've lived for hundreds of years, correct?
Yep.
What have you seen so far that probably caught your attention the most that spurred you to becoming an adventurer in the first place?
I think it was back when my family was being saved by some of the members of the guild. I decided, you know what, I want to be like them. So I decided to do what I did in the usual human education. You'd be surprised at how humanity can at least be good for education. We did a bunch of training for outside of the education system for getting into guild, which is what I did.
Mm-hmm.
We did. I didn't come from a time that was still E rank as the lowest though.
Mm-hmm. And would you say you had like a bit of a mentor that guided you through the whole entire process? Or was there like someone that you looked up to? Or was there just a point where you said that if I could do this better than anybody else can, then so be it. I'll just go at it on my own pace.
I just on my own pace, I guess.
Hmm.
Oh,
And
it's pretty.
and what did you and your family get rescued from? Was it like some sort of monster that was attacking, or some sort of roving party that was known for causing a lot of trouble? What kind of did that kind of damage anyway?
Well, let's say a little bit of a bunch of drunk fairies who decided to rally up a bunch of Tengu and stick him at our home.
Fairies.
Yeah.
Like the ones that kind of fairies that live in the woods that do all sorts of
Yeah.
crazy things. Those kind of fairies.
Yeah. They, yeah. Some of them got drunk, got some cheap sake, and when they found out that the taste is terrible, they decided to try destroying the city that I am on.
Hmm.
Man, what a bunch of nut jobs.
Now this also begs a question: have there been any kind of missions involving these fairies that the guild's been handing out, or were there any kind of missions of your own that you've decided to set out on and just try to like get any clues of?
Most of the instead the fairies are the ones handing them out. At least they're not drunk now.
Mm-hmm.
At least, yeah. Then again, they also take missions from literally anyone.
Hmm.
at, at least I'm not going to hold a grudge against those fairies. They're drunk. They're so. I don't think they're going to be. I think they'll probably just when they got sober anyway, or at least if they're not apologizing when they're sober, at least it's enough. Oh no, stay away from cheap bottled sake.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess it does kind of have its little interesting Gordian knot, so to speak, considering that
Yep.
those same kind of fairies have probably done a lot more destruction when they were drunk, but I guess they were probably paid enough hush money to kind of have their little absolution, making sure
I
that.
don't know.
What's
No,
up?
it's funny that it's funny that you mentioned and that. I think the fairies just did doggies against both Marley and the Tengu, and that happened.
Hmm. Hmm. Maybe there might be something to look into after all.
Yeah, probably.
Perhaps the Tengu might be some sort of crime family or someone with great connects to someone within the guilds. Probably got paid some sort of silence.
Probably random people, actually.
Hmm. Huh? I guess if there's nothing really intrinsically corrupt within the guild, then I guess live and let live at that point.
Yeah, live another life, if indeed.
All right, so I guess that's all for the questions for now. Unless if anybody else has any questions to throw into the chat for Kirana.
Hmm?
Just want to see if anybody
Mhm.
has anything else, or maybe some questions that might come to mind later on. But how fluffy is the tail?
Fluffy is my tail. My tail is probably not that fluffy. Yeah, it's fluffy, but not that fluffy.
So it's moderately fluffy.
Yep, moderately fluffy. Read about it anytime.
You better charge. For anybody that's trying to like pet your tail, you got to charge.
What?
Oh, you can't exactly just let it go for free.
At least nobody's trying to grill it.
Oh, that's even right. Wait, grill it.
That that was a bit of a joke.
I thought it was like something about people actually eating Tanuki or something.
What? Nobody. What? Nowadays, nobody eats Tanuki.
Hmm. That's true. That's true. But at the same time, there's also those black market types that might even just be adventurous enough.
The black market. Unless the black market really and someone gone, they're not going to post quests.
Wait, say again?
Unless the black market really wants someone uncommon, we're not going to see that many quests from them.
Hmm.
Which is good news and bad news, because good news is LA is they're trying to keep their nose clean, despite being a black market.
Yeah, I guess when it comes to like having a bunch of weapons being sold, they don't want to kind of bite the hand that feeds them at the moment.
Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. So that also kind of begs the question too. Do you use any kind of like special gadgets in your adventures, or any kind of like high tech weaponry?
Aside from that replica a weapon that I mentioned before, none.
Hmm.
Unless, of course, you keep this gauntlet that I'm wearing. It's just the. It acts as sort of a ranged extender. People
Ah.
keep superstition that Tanuki needs leaves. I just keep my iron inside this gauntlet in case someone wants to see proof.
Hmm.
Well, I'm not going to put it on my head. It's going to easily fall off.
Ah. Hmm. What else? Hmm. Anybody else has any other questions?
Hmm?
I could probably check the tag to see if there's anything there. I check. Well, I guess that's pretty much it for the show at this point. So, do you have anything that you have planning? Do you have anything that's upcoming for the future?
For the future, I'll probably just do a year ending stream. All new. It is New Year's after all.
What was that?
I'll probably just do a New Year stream special. I still have that subathon on timer,
Ah,
which I
okay.
probably should get. Speaking of which, I probably should look into what are the games people actually want me to stream. I mean, I know that there's private servers for certain games, but if in the future, that's all people can say. If we say Cyberpunk 2077 is essentially a bit wrong about how the future would feel.
Mm-hmm.
On one hand, we don't have. On one hand, we don't have Arcus versus Balaam or the Arasaka Corporation, but on the other, we don't have. But at least we don't have like medication that's way too advanced, like make those gels. Yeah. Don't have thermal clips either.
Nope.
So use conventional munitions.
Yeah, but it's only a matter of time before you actually have those kind of like high frequency weapons or anything that advanced anyway.
Yep.
Well, that's all for the show, everybody. Hope you had a wonderful time with the stream. Do you have any upcoming streams at the moment, Uta?
As I mentioned before, the year-end ending stream, all new. It's also going to be the start of my subathon, which you should get some. Remember, you drink some coffee. I can end up. Yeah, I don't want to end up falling asleep.
All right. So,
what about you?
I don't really have much outside of the my, I guess, my somewhat New Year's tradition of playing PSO2 from 12 to 12, basically from 12 p.m. to New Year's Day. So,
Coffee into New Year's, huh?
Yep,
that's great.
So that's been a thing I've been doing since like about 2 years ago. In fact, I think before I even became a VTuber too. So that's been kind of like a special thing that kind of stuck even from my previous days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also, life is probably going to be a bit better in general. As life is probably going to be better in general. Also, just sadly, it's how do I say this? I think I forgot how it went. At least I'm probably just going to otherwise play my copy of some really old games. I just hope that those people will realize the greatness. Never mind. I forgot where I was going with this.
Yeah, we can always just come back around it eventually at another point in time.
Yep.
But thanks for having me on the show, Ruto.
And thank you for having me on your show too, Otsdarva.
No problem. And to everybody else that's hanging around the stream, thank you for tuning in for this final episode of the year. Hope you all have a wonderful New Year's Day, New Year's Eve that's going on, or all that good stuff. And let's prepare for the Year of the Dragon, okay?
The Year of the Dragon. Well, if Cockroach was real, and I get they probably better be prepared.
I am also looking forward to the Dragon D's Nuts joke that's coming around the next year. This is gonna get old real fast.
Yeah.
It's gonna get old real fast. But take care, everybody.
And have a good day. Have a good night. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Later.